Tsunami Studios. StarGirl, episode 7. Let's get into this, because man, I really liked this episode. I think this is one of the funnest episodes of the entire season. I liked a lot of the stuff with Wildcat, with Hourman, getting all those characters, building up an actual Justice Society. But I really liked this episode. A big portion of this episode is in two parts. It's the duality between Cindy, who is kind of our basic bitch at school, who's kind of like the bully, who is in control of the entire school, and Courtney, and kind of learning how to be who you are in a sense. I don't know. Really interesting stuff, though. So we'll start with the stuff with Courtney. The JSA is finally going to begin their training. Everyone's super happy. They're really positive. You see the entire team is kind of finally finding themselves and who they're meant to be. That's really cool stuff. And then we just kind of have the scenes at school where there's like all happy and together, everyone's smiling, they finally have companionship and friendship and everybody's having a good time. And then after school they're gonna go train and do some fun stuff there, which is kind of exciting. But then in a typical Courtney Whitmore fashion, she just kind of takes over, like, I don't need training, Pat, okay? I've already beat up Sportsmaster and all of these people. You don't need to train me. So instead of just like being part of a team, Courtney is just too arrogant and takes down all the dummies herself because she doesn't really want to help the team, because, you know, she's got to learn the journey of working with others is the best way to be a team. And you could just see the other people on the team, like Yolanda and Beth and Rick, they're not really happy with her, but, you know, it is what it is. I guess we'll see what happens later with that storyline. And it's good stuff. I mean, Courtney did not play a huge part in this episode. This was way more focused on Cindy, which I was surprised by, because, okay, I didn't really look at every individual title for the episode. I wasn't going to do that, because I know I don't really need to do that in order to enjoy it. I was surprised she was Shiv. I was really surprised that's who she was going to be. I know that's the title of the episode, and I was like, okay, is that going to be her? It's cool. So Cindy we learn a lot about her. Her mother died when she was young. Her father never healed from it. He's been married twice over. And we realize that her father is the Dragon King. And like I said before, I don't know a lot about the Dragon King. I think he looks incredible. It's a really cool costume he has. And I didn't know that he had these powers to kind of like build people and control them. That's really interesting stuff to see. And you just see this energy with Cindy. She's like, I want to be a part of this, Dad. You know, I can do this too. I have these powers. These like spikes come out of my wrist. I can do this. You know, you can actually show me how to do this and be a part of this. I can do it. But he's very hesitant against it. And you just see, like, one thing I don't really understand, and this could just be something, I don't know. Why does everyone have an underground layer in their basement? Like, I know that the like actual ISA headquarters is underneath the American Dream building. Is that really close to where Dragon King's house is? Because it seems like she could just walk into it from her house to the ISA base. So it either is really close or she spent a long time walking underneath that base. I find it weird she knows who Solomon Grundy is. I wonder how that's going to play up here. And you could just kind of see she wants to do this, and she's really willing to do this. So the mother was a supervillain and then she died, I guess. That's still really cool to see. And there's just a lot of fun in this episode. One of the things I really liked seeing was just the way Icicle's son, who is Cameron, is just kind of like talking to his dad. Like, there's this girl at school I kind of like, and I want to ask her to the dance, and I don't know how to do it. And you just see, you know, the father's like, you know, when I courted your mother, there's another man after her, so I killed him. And then it's just like a cute little joke, but no, he probably did kill this guy. And then it's like, you know, she might just be waiting for you to ask her too, Cameron, so you should just not hesitate. You should just take these opportunities to find love because you deserve it. And the entire time this is happening, I'm thinking, okay, who's it going to be? Part of me thinks it's going to be Cindy. Part of me thinks it's going to be Yolanda. It never crossed my mind to be Courtney for some reason. I don't know why that never crossed my mind, but you just see, I love that scene a lot because I thought it was going to go one way where Courtney's going to be like, oh, no, I don't want to go out with you to the dance, but she says yeah, because she really wants to see him, and I think that's really cool. I love seeing this side of Courtney too, because this is like the vulnerable, fun side of Courtney that we don't normally get. And speaking of Icicle's father, Jordan, he invites Barbara to go away for the the night. I think it's just the night to like go to like this event or conference in another town to help secure a location. Now, I don't want to assume anything, but I'm pretty sure our boy Icicle is trying to hit on Barbara or get with Barbara in an intimate fashion. Maybe to replace his wife. I don't know. I'd like to see how that's going to play out, because there's a huge difference between, you know, just Pat and Jordan, just the way those characters are. There's a huge difference, and say what you will, I think Pat's a great guy, but I mean, I would be seduced by Jordan in the circumstance. They just have, I don't know, there's something about that I think is really interesting. I like that angle it's being focused on. And I really like the stuff with Mike this episode, because Mike is another character who I think could easily just be written off as somebody that nobody's going to pay attention to, but I love that he's getting a lot of focus here. He's jealous of Courtney and his dad. I think that's a really good angle, and you could just see he has a conversation with Courtney at the football game, and you just see it like, he's my father. I know you don't have your own, but I don't want you to overstep my boundaries here, because he's my dad. I love him. I've always loved him. We've been through a lot, so please don't do that. And he just, there's an energy with him that is just so real. I believe that. You know, he is intimidated. He's jealous. How can he live up to Courtney when Courtney's going to be StarGirl? But he doesn't know that. He just like, you're taking Courtney driving, you know, you're going to all these places with Courtney and you're not spending any time with your actual son. I think that's some great stuff. I love seeing that side of Mike, and I think it's going to come back in a big way, because that character, like I said, he could easily be written off as a nothing character, but they're giving him a lot to do here, which is really, really nice to see. I love seeing that side of just Mike. I think it's really cool to see. And, you know, we get a big fight at the end of this episode. It is Courtney versus Cindy, and it's StarGirl versus Shiv, and you just kind of get this energy of, like, what is going on here? Because they're both really just, like, anxious to get involved in whatever their parents were doing and seeing where that goes. So I think there's something really cool in just the anger of the youth there, and they're still really good at fighting. The fight scenes in this show are so well done, so incredibly intense and like acrobatic. The way Courtney's flipping off the staff, the way the staff is moving to allow her to move, just the way that Shiv and Cindy are obviously moving in this weird dynamic way. It looks great. Everything about it is very well done. And we'll talk about this in a sec here, this character that kind of helps her at the end. I just want to say, I'm liking Cindy a lot more than I did before, not because there's more dynamic there, but I just like that she is one of the only kids who understands the actual threat that's going on here. That's kind of a villain. I like that. The reason she's dating Henry is because they need Brainwave's power in order for their plan to work, so they're trying to get Henry to figure that out. And there's some great stuff with Henry in this episode too, where he's kind of cheating off people in a test by writing down the answers he hears in their head, which is really cool, because that's what all of us would do if we could read minds. We cheat on tests. I'm not kidding. That's what everyone would do. It's perfect. Absolutely great. So there's another character who kind of makes their appearance in this episode, and it is this janitor. Who is he? Scottish? I can't tell. This is going to sound really dumb, but at first I'm like, is this Grant Morrison? Why is Grant Morrison here? But I'm like, oh, no, it's not. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not reading the titles, because I know the titles have been like the name of a bunch of characters. I'm not reading the titles. If I had to venture a guess who this character is, because we see him with a sword. By the way, that sword, I have that sword. I have that exact sword somewhere in my room. I might show it off when we get to more with this character, but I have that sword. If I had to venture a guess who this guy is, I'm going to say it's Shining Knight. I don't know why, I just get the feeling the sword looked very like Excalibur, Camelot-ish, and I feel like Shining Knight is that character. What a weird choice to put in here. Shining Knight. If I'm right about that. I don't know. If I'm right about it being Shining Knight, what a weird choice. I don't know. It's really weird, guys. But he helps defeat Shiv, but Courtney gets knocked out, and that's how we end this episode, with Pat coming to see Courtney is no longer awake. She's knocked out in the gymnasium at the school. This was a really good episode. A lot of great stuff with Courtney kind of learning to be the hero. A lot of great stuff with Cindy starting to become the villain. Some great stuff with the side characters and all of the parents. You know, they're all doing really good stuff, and Mike even gets a lot of play here too. Plus, we saw the same sword I have in my bedroom, which I think is really cool. So I liked this episode a lot. Episode 7 of StarGirl. It's definitely worth the watch, and you guys should check it out. And thank you again for watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. You can check me out on Instagram, Patreon, Twitter, all that good stuff. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have fun, stay safe, good luck.